Watch out, it's the warning track.
Welcome back to another episode of The Warning Track. I'm your host, Clayton McMahon. Here on a Friday, we're recording this a little before noon on Friday, April 17th. Been an interesting week. The closer carousel keeps on rolling. I think we have maybe the most names ever on a single closing carousel. I have 9 names down. A lot of more blown saves. I don't really know if there's going to be too many names of guys you want to pick up, or I guess a few we've already mentioned and probably aren't as rostered as they should be. But regardless, there's really only one kind of one new name that's joined the carousel. Maybe 2. One of them's pretty short term, though, I would say. But yeah, the carousel is always spinning, and that's what we're here for. We'll touch on some of the bigger performances from Mike Trout, who has just been turning the clock this year, which has been really cool to see. Maybe not if you're a Yankees fan, but otherwise. And then Parker Messick's no-hit bid. I just think it was funny that we were literally talking about Parker Messick on Thursday's show as a guy that definitely needed to be picked up in any league that you see him in. And what do you know? He goes out and validates that by throwing a gem. So yeah, a lot to talk about. We'll get into it right away. The first person I want to talk about is a reliever for the Giants, Eric Miller, who got the save Thursday night against the Reds, gave up a walk but struck out the side. Or I guess I wouldn't be striking out the side, but got 3 strikeouts. Now, he did blow a save earlier in the year, April 5th. His ERA is at 6, so I'm not necessarily too inspired by it. The one thing I just find interesting is that Ryan Walker pitched in the 7th inning. And I thought there was a report that talked about how the manager wanted to use him immediately, Ryan Walker, that is, immediately after Robbie Ray, like whenever Robbie Ray would pitch. Ryan Walker would immediately replace him. Why? I think it has to do with like lefty-righty matchup things. I have no idea. Very weird. But either way, this was not even a Robbie Ray start. It was Landon Route, excuse me. And so, not really sure how to feel about that. I mean, Ryan Walker has been fine. He has a 3.86 ERA. But I'm starting to think that situation's almost going to be joining the Athletics and Twins, and we'll get into the Athletics here in a second. But Eric Miller, I don't even know if I necessarily want to go pick him up, but he's maybe if you're in like a deep 15 team, really needs saves, maybe there. That's probably about it. Brian Baker, we've talked about him. It definitely seems that like unless Uceda comes back, which I'm still kind of on the Uceda train, Brian Baker did get his 4th save. Gave up a walk, no strikeouts, but we got out of it the inning. Griffin Jacks came in the 6th to relieve Steven Matz, and then it was Kevin Kelly who pitched 2 innings before giving it to Baker in the 9th. And so that's Baker's 4th save on the year. And really the only reason he was even in a possibility for is because another name we're going to talk about is Sir Anthony Dominguez blew the save, took the loss, gave up 3 runs in only a third of an inning. His ERA is up to 7.5. Not that it takes much early on in the season to inflate that, and also I will say for most of these closers who did blow saves, I wouldn't drop them. It's more just obviously it stinks having them on your team, just pointing it out. So, yeah, if it weren't for the Sir Anthony Dominguez blown save, Brian Baker wouldn't even had the chance, but he picks up his 4th save, looking good so far, at least until Uceda comes back potentially. Victor Vodnik got his 2nd save with the Rockies, 3-2 win. Honestly, the Rockies, they're not doing good, but they're 7-12. I mean, that's serviceable. So I say all that because this was his 2nd save of the year. He's blown 1 save, but only has a 2.25 ERA, so he's been fine this year. It just makes no sense to me why he is not more owned. In Yahoo, he is only 6% owned. I mean, to me, if you're in a league with saves, there's just no reason to not own him. There's no reason to not own him. Like I said, he had one, I think it was like his first. Yeah, this isn't going to show blown saves, but I think it was his first opportunity of the year. He's picked up a couple since. He needs to be on the squad. He's not going to be an elite reliever. I mean, he only has, I guess I said the numbers there. He's only has 5 strikeouts across 8 innings. I mean, a 1.5 whip. So, yeah, I'm not saying this guy is going to be Mason Miller or anything, but he should be rostered. He should absolutely be rostered more than in 6% of leagues. So got another save. Trevor McGill, the McGill slide just keeps on coming. He pitched fine, pitched perfect inning, 2 strikeouts last night. But the key thing is that he entered in the 8th inning in a game where Abner Uribe did not pitch because he pitched each of the last 2 days, and instead it was a guy named Angel Zerpa who got the save. And he really hasn't been the best either. I mean, he has a 5.4 ERA, but that was his 2nd save on the year. So it's not looking good for Trevor McGill. I'd be curious to see where he was picked up or when he was drafted in leagues. He definitely wasn't like a high end. 12th round. Yeah, that stinks. You at least, if nothing else, like to see the bounce back from his last 2 outings where he had given up 7 combined runs across 2 appearances. But this is starting to seem like in leagues where you're only having for saves that it's starting to slip away. Still wouldn't drop him yet. I definitely don't think you can drop him, but it's not looking good. Justin Sterner, kind of one of the few, at least just in terms of ERA, bright spots for the Athletics. Blew the save. He came in the 9th inning. That was his first save chance of the year. Gave up 3 earned runs, took the loss, took the blown save. His ERA is up to 4.66 with a whip of almost 2. He's been walking guys a bunch, giving them a ton of hits. So I think it's still Joe Kunal, but I really just don't think I want to even touch this bullpen right now. Like I said, Kunal's gotten 3 saves since April 8th. Has looked good. Still hasn't given up a run. The K numbers aren't really there, but I think he's probably your guy. We talked about Sir Anthony Dominguez. Clayton Beeter. Now, he did blow a save, but at least got the win. Basically just a pity win. I guess I'll take it. I have him in a league. But, yeah, he blew a save. It's the 2nd blown save of the year. Was struggling with walks. Yeah, I mean, he's walked 8 guys across the 9 1/3 inning. So we've talked about plenty of the walk struggles with other relievers like Hogan Harris. And then I'm blanking on the name of the guy who got the save. Yeah, Revolta. I mean, I'll just be completely honest. I have no idea who this is. I guess if nothing else, he has a scoreless ERA. Or Orlando Revolta. Yeah, can't say I've heard of him. He's only pitched in 2 games this year, but does have the save. I don't know. Maybe somebody to keep an eye on, but I don't know if I really want anything to do with that bullpen either. Lucas Erceg. I'm a little happy about this one. 1, I don't have many leagues, but 2, it happened against the Tigers, but Lucas Erceg blew the save. Gave up 3 runs, took the loss as well. His ERA is up to 6.14 now, the 1.5 whip. Like I said, it doesn't take much, but he also had an appearance in early April where he gave up 2 runs, but I don't really think that changed anything with Estevez. I don't have anything in my notes, but I don't know. I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. So that was Tuesday, so they're thinking maybe starting a rehab assignment next week, but the way he was looking, I don't know. He's thrown off a mound. I haven't heard anything about what his velocity is looking like because that was the biggest issue just before the foot contusion, but I'm not too worried about Carlos Estevez. And then probably the last note, like I said, I think this one's not too important just because I don't think it's going to last long. But Chase Silseth, a reliever for the Angels, in light of Jordan Romano's struggles in that Yankees series, there was a report from Jeff Fletcher of the Orange County Register that said Silseth has, quote, probably put himself in the best position for the opportunity, unquote, if Angels manager Kurt Suzuki removes Jordan Romano. Now, this is a similar Uceda situation, except I feel even more confident about Kirby Yates at this point. Still hasn't really been any news on him since last week. I don't know. No, I feel like they would have had to report it if he had started. So, yeah, I don't know when he's going to start the rehab assignment. My guess he's probably still a couple weeks out, but get Kirby Yates on your roster if you can, especially if you need saves, obviously. And yeah, that's kind of that. So, like I said, I don't know if this was necessarily an influential closing carousel in terms of like guys to pick up. Uh, if anything, it's more just guys to drop, like Trevor McGill, if you really needed to. I wouldn't, but you could. Justin Sterner, I don't think he was. I'd be interested to see where he could have been more than like 5% rostered, even in Yahoo. Sterner, 3%. Yeah, I'm not too worried about him. I would keep Sir Anthony. I guess I don't think I mentioned that. To me, he's just like maybe a half step ahead of a Victor Vodnik, where obviously the White Sox aren't going to be good. The save opportunities aren't necessarily going to be plentiful. But he still is a closer. And so I think he needs to be rostered. And he's 43% rostered in Yahoo, which is actually, I don't think that's a bad number, but it's higher than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, he's sitting at a cool 7.5 ERA, 1.83 whip, getting some Ks at least. But so yeah, moving on, Mike Trout, who just had maybe one of the greatest series, at least in Yankee Stadium, by an opposing hitter ever. He walked away from the 4-game series with 5 home runs. What is that, 9 RBIs? Yeah. He has an RBI in each of his last 7 games. Batting average up to 246, 21 runs, 7 homers, 16 ribbies, 2 stolen bases. The dude has just been a monster. Absolute monster. And considering you drafted him in the 12th round, the cheapest Trout's ever been, it's looking good. There were reports, very early on in the season that the sprint speed was looking the best it has in a long time. It seems like he's just truly healthy for the first time in quite a while. And who would have thought that when that happens, he's one of the greatest baseball players anybody's ever seen. Granted, he is 34 now. I have his career stats pulled up here, and he is still striking out a lot. So he leads the league in walks, but also has 18 strikeouts, which I guess is kind of in line with what we saw even during his most elite years, where he was walking about the same amount that he would strike out. I don't think the steals are ever going to truly be there. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, he has 2 across, 19 games. So, I mean, if you're lucky, he may get you like low double digits, but I just don't know if that's really his MO anymore. And honestly, if he can hit like this still, then I don't think it should be. But I'll still never forget his first full season, 30 homers, 49 stolen bases. Kind of funny not to get too aside, but being a Tigers fan, 2012 was the year Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown, won AL MVP, won in 2013 as well. Also would have won Triple Crown for Chris Davis, but that's a story for another day. But I just remember this was kind of, I think, when the WAR craze was really taking off, and I remember just being just so annoyed with that and just thinking it was so dumb that, somebody did the Triple Crown for the first time in almost 50 years. The last one was 1967 by Carl Yastrzemski. And people were legitimately talking about Mike Trout winning it. And funny enough, I think the 2012, was a lot closer in 2013. So as you can see, Mike Trout had 281 votes compared to Miggy's 362. And then 2013, which a lot of people, think Miggy Triple Crown 2012. His 2013 was better, like objectively better. And you look at that, and it actually was, I wouldn't say it was a beat down, but it was actually a little more of a spread. Had one more first place vote. Mike Trout still had an amazing season there as well. But yeah, the WAR, everybody's nuts about the WAR. And a 10.5 WAR is insane. I always just thought the coolest thing looking at Mike Trout's stats is that you see him actually just get better. And the way you see it is through his plate discipline. So his first full season, he had 67 walks to 139 strikeouts. And then you slowly just kind of see that, right? Like, this was a good year, then he kind of regressed a little bit again. And then you have, 2017 here. It was only 114 games, but he walked more than he struck out. This is when you see the OPS really start to rise because of his better plate discipline. 122 walks led the league, 124 strikeouts. So, put 3 straight seasons of almost an 1,100 OPS. The dude was insane. Literally the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. the first 7 full years of his career where he played at least 130 games, he finished either first or second in MVP voting. And take out, Miggy didn't exist those 2 years. He obviously would have won those and should have won them. Yeah, the dude is just absolutely insane. It's just so sad to see that from 2020, he couldn't have. So we'll even give him a little benefit of the doubt. For the last 5 years, from 2021 to 2025, his age is 29 to 33 season. He only had 2 seasons with more than 100 games played. And one of them was last year. It was easily the worst season of his career. He still had a decent amount of homers, 26 homers, 130 games. So that would have put him on pace for over 30. You don't know the exact number, but plate discipline was terrible. First year with an OPS under 800. Only 73. Yeah, didn't steal. So it's been really cool to see Mike Trout doing his thing again. Like I said, if you're a Yankees fan, probably not, but that's been nice. Kind of getting back to fantasy. I mean, you're obviously not going to trade away Mike Trout. You're not going to be able to pay enough to trade for Mike Trout. That would be smart. So if you drafted him, that's congratulations. If not, then hopefully you're not playing the manager who does own him anytime soon. Moving on, we talked about Parker Messick briefly at the top of the show. Looked absolutely fantastic last night. Took a no-hitter in the 9th inning. 18 whiffs, 9 strikeouts across 8 innings, only 2 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 walks. Funny enough, this was actually the start this year with the most earned runs he's given up. But yeah, he's got an ERA of 105, a WHIP well below 1, 3 wins, 25 strikeouts across 25 2/3. The dude has been phenomenal. I imagine after this, what is his? It's up to 73%. Yeah, I want to say, it was in the 50s when we talked about him on Thursday's show. So you're running out of time, but if he's in your league, need to pick him up. I think, especially of all the rookie pitchers, that he's by far going to be the best. If nothing else, just the most consistent. And so I'm very happy I got him in, what league was it? Was that in Bats and Stats? Yeah. Didn't help me much. I'm getting annihilated in this league this week. But yeah, Parker Messick has looked absolutely fantastic. So if you got him, I drafted him for what? Oh, wow. Added him as a free agent. So there you go. This was like maybe, was that opening day maybe? March 25th? It was either opening day, like right before the season started. But yeah, that's been an absolute steal so far. One thing I'd kind of be interested, we have maybe like 3 or 4 minutes left here. Would be interesting to kind of look at this article from Chris Towers on CBS Sports. He kind of highlights in this article some of the top sluggers, or at least ones that were drafted early, and kind of just say whether they're a fluke or something like that. One of them he talks about is Francisco Lindor. We've mentioned this on the show. I mean, anybody who plays fantasy, this isn't really a surprise that he has a rough April. It's no different than Julio Rodriguez. I'm not too worried about it. The entire Mets offense has just been out of funk to start the year, whether it's just been Juan Soto was out or hurt. Even Carson Ben just kind of struggled after seemingly looking good the first game or two. He also hasn't been playing full-time anyway. Lindor is dealing with the hamate bone. Granted, Corbin Carroll looks fine coming off it for the most part. He is also 32, which just makes me feel so old. I mean, I remember when he came up with Cleveland and just put up some amazing seasons. Didn't quite have the power that he did now, or he does now. I guess it was only 2 seasons where he didn't really, but yeah. His first full season, he only hit 15 home runs and then had 33, 38, 32. I'll also never forget, I had him in 2021 when he went. It was his first year with the Mets, and he was just absolutely terrible. Missed some time with injury, 125 games, only batted .230, .734 OPS. Definitely not what he's done in the last few years, where he's basically putting up 30 seasons with well over 100 runs. But I'm not too worried about him. especially I would say just because this is how he usually is. If you can find a manager who's panicking and take advantage of it, I would. I guess let's look at his recent game results. Yeah, I mean, he's batting a .184, has 2 stolen bases, 1 home run, which he got his 1 homer and 1 of his stolen bases a couple nights ago. So, yeah, it's been rough sledding, but if you can get him at a discount, he does have 11 runs, only 1 ribby, which is kind of crazy, but he's somebody I think I would go for. Now, I don't know if the buy low opportunity is here anymore just because the game he had a couple days ago, but Josh Naylor, who is only batting a .118, despite a game a couple days ago where he had 2 home runs, 5 ribbies. Same thing, especially because he hasn't stolen a base yet either. So if you can just compound somebody freaking out about that on top of his slow start to the season, he's definitely somebody I would try to buy low on, and I think you could legitimately buy low. Granted, he wasn't drafted in the second, 3rd round like Lindor was, but I mean, in Hunter League, he was drafted 5th. So he's somebody to go for. What's another guy? Vinny P. Same thing, especially because, I mean, he was, probably drafted 9th round? Oh, no, 6th. Okay, so higher than I would have thought. Yeah, he's only batting a .155 right now. 1 home run, 9 ribbies. Same thing. It just seems like the entire Royals have just kind of been out of sync so far. I mean, even Bobby Witt, he's batting .278 and has 8 stolen bases, but no home runs yet. So I think most of these guys I would try to buy low on. I think of those, I mean, Lindor definitely the most. Maybe the Hamate Bone will have somebody a little more worried than they normally would be. So I think it's still also only been 3 weeks. So maybe people aren't panicking too much yet. But my guess is somebody out there is panicking. So somebody to potentially look at. And yeah, that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining another episode of The Warning Track. We'll come back here again on Monday. Hopefully, I feel like, was it last week or maybe 2 weekends ago where it seemed like half the league just got hurt. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Hopefully we'll get some updates on guys like Churio, Kirby Yates. Hopefully Juan Soto continues to progress as he started running progression. So until next time, I'm your host, Clayton McMahon, and we'll see you on another episode of The Warning Track next time.
Watch out, it's the Warning Track.